holds, steps up, away, sacks, T.J. Watt! NFL history! Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no!
In the air to right, this is deep, and he did it again! Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates! 3 home runs in a game!
We're ready? Welcome to another live Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. Thank you for watching us. We appreciate all of you, and thanks for watching us on Facebook Live, Pittsburgh Sports Channel. Write that down like Smokin Jim did. Subscribe to it. You can see us live there. And if you want to switch it up, go to BPTV Facebook page. So thanks you for watching all that. And we're on TV, Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. If you're watching us on Facebook and you're not in Bethel Park, don't switch to Comcast. That's my tip of the night. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in the greater Pittsburgh area, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate that. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Smokin Jim Frazier. Chip Hayner's having some more difficulty after a couple months of a knee transplant. He can't come in tonight, so we got Guns, Jim Ellenbogen filling in. For all of you that watch the show and think that Guns is a regular, he's actually a substitute. Chip, believe it or not, has been on 11 years. And Guns surpassed him in fan popularity with all the states and friends that he has. I just had to share that with there. He's not an egomaniac like I am, but you know, we respect that. And I want to thank Tim Davis for watching us, and let me see who else. Amy, thanks for watching us. Chuck McElroy, thanks for watching us. And my account's still restricted because that darn hacker put some porno and banned words. How did I get punished? I'm like all the criminals in jail. I'm innocent, but I don't have my account. So Amy said hello, guys, and she always likes your outfits. Now, he doesn't recognize hot or cold, but he's dressed for winter tonight. And I'll do our promos. First, I want to do a promo. I got a story to tell. 36 years I worked at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. My union brothers and sisters' health care was canceled. They went on strike in October. The anti-union King Ballou is negotiating the contract. They won't listen to the unions. The guy I interviewed on my talking machine, Jim Van Landingham, guess what? He messaged me today. He's a spokesman for the strikers, so please cancel your Post-Gazette online and delivery. A scab paper, the Butler Eagles putting them out. Not that I'm prejudiced for unions, but I am. My history is. And he's going to be there and meet Biden on his State of the Union dress. They picked him up, took him to the plane. They're picking him up. He'll be there for the State of the Union dress to plead our case with the Post-Gazette not negotiating and doing away with a contract. What would you do without health care for whoever company you're working for if they took it away today?
Good point.
All right, I'm done with my rant, but I'm serious about it, folks. So please cancel that and support the people here. They're just workers like you and others. They're not even asking for pay raises. They just want their jobs. Ralph is watching. Hello, Ralph. Guns is watching. We appreciate you. All right, we got Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Sponsors our show with an XL pepperoni pizza and a steak hoagie. 412-831-1900. Give them a call. Frankie, the owner's son Frankie, made the pizza and hoagie tonight, Smokin Jim. Frank Sr. said hello, Smokin Jim. He goes,
my man.
Have a good show. So we're going to have a great show because of our sponsor. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. I wore the black Pittsburgh Sportsline shirt so I can frame this for Mike on camera. We got the young rookie of the year, Rowan here from high school, or from 7th. He's from 7th grade. And we had a little discussion. Smokin Jim is Gateway centric. And everybody he asked said, would you move from Bethel Park? Everybody has answered him, no. They don't want to go to a corrupt regime that recruits and pays for parents to work there and a fake address. Just saying, you can check me out, not disclaim me. The facts will tell you the truth and set you free. Rowan likes soccer at Bethel Park. All right, so check out the Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Guns, sorry for the delay, but look what Smokin Jim provoked. Always be smiling. The B stands for Bennett, a handicapped child, died at 16 and a half. He was handicapped his whole life, had 2 kidney transplants. His dad, Dean, was with one. Kristen and Dean formed Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 on Facebook. Check them out. Be one of the 400 friends of mine that like their page. All right. Another 501c3. Mike's doing great on the camera. We got Big Mike, we call him. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Bethel Park community people here. So check it out and get an application and we'll see what happens. Next up, Dave Cable like to have a little fun at my expense with Uncle Sam. I won't explain to you how Smokin Jim learned about Uncle Sam last year by me. And I want you for BPTV. You can be like Rowan. You can be like Mike, who didn't volunteer. His son volunteered. He came in here and he's on the camera doing a great job. And we got Ryan in the control room. Is Johnny here?
No.
Okay, we don't have Johnny, but we got Nick's a part-time employee. I didn't want to be remiss, but he actually works for BPTV, the first employee in addition to the director, Dave Cable. Call 412-831-3304. If you're in high school, come on in. You can learn how to post stuff to TikTok, social media, BPTV, Facebook, YouTube. And you'll learn it from here, and it's all for free. No charge to come in and help our show like these guys.
You really are my Uncle Al, aren't you? Yeah, you like that. You like that, Smokin. Nepotism.
We grew up in Green Tree together, and we had different mothers and fathers. All right, we got the Party in the Park, April 29th. It's a fundraiser for the library, and it's also, sorry about that, it's South Park Theater, Bethel Park Community Foundation, and the Bethel Library. They have their events. Last year was a great event. I was there, and I didn't have to talk or anything, just had to mingle with the people. So it worked out really well. They had music, food, and you name it. It was quite entertaining a day. Mark your calendars off for April 29th. And let's see the time. Live music, beer, wine, and hors d'oeuvres. $40 for adults, $5 kids, age 4 to 12. Sorry, Rowan, you missed out. He's 13.
Oh.
He was close. I tried to get him in.
When are you turning 14, Rowan?
October.
When in October? I got 2 sisters on the 1st and 31st.
The 6th.
Whoa, you're right near my younger sister, Hope. All right, we start each show off with What's on Your Mind? Smokin Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Give it to my Philadelphia Eagle, man. But I tell you what, man.
What?
After we had A2 in here who was all swagged out, Marco, my favorite Gateway Gator with his underarm gear.
Let me do a disclaimer. It's called You Don't Represent Bethel Park, our show, or anybody else. I won't say he's lying, but he's misleading you. Rowan's a nice, quiet young man. He's only said 3 words to me in 3 shows, and he's doing well. So he does not mean that, and we don't want to misrepresent what our great young volunteer is doing. Look at him on camera.
Well, I tell you what, man. After last week, when my main man Mike had that champion gear on, I tell you what, man, he put me up on game. I got to step up now. But Hey, L. Levine, the talking machine. Police chief. Your buddy chief. CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Indian Chief, and I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend. And that's what's on my mind. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City. Let's go.
Folks, I can't do a disclaimer.
Police chief.
I can't do a disclaimer because I like the Chiefs too, but with his betting record, I might have to change my bet.
You've destined them for failure.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Bet the opposite of Smokin Jim. And, okay, Guns, what's on your mind?
Well, the Super Bowl's on Sunday, and I have to disagree. I got my Eagle green on. And I was all about the 49ers and the Eagles making it to the Super Bowl this year, but the Eagles physically dismantled the entire Frisco team and made sure. And I was all about Kansas City until they showed me
after.
the game,
Yeah.
they had no class.
Good point.
No class. I mean, Cincinnati, they act like fools, yeah. But they complimented them by acting like as just as much of fools as they do. Where on the other hand, they interviewed guys like Fletcher Cox, who's just bad A. 11 years in the thing, total class interview. Eagles have been conducting themselves with class. And I'll tell you what, I will say this. If Mahomes got anything wrong with his ankle, when he gets a taste of Fletcher Cox and Riddick chasing him across the field, Eagles going to win. Eagles by 8.
8 points.
8? Oh.
You heard it from Guns.
I got a question. How good would the Steelers look right now if they had Javon Hargrove back on the team? Is he a beast in that on that middle?
Yes.
Keep weeding out the good players.
I feel like you pronounced his name wrong.
Yeah, let me explain something. Whoever he mentioned, he played for us. We were last in run defense.
Hargrave.
Grave.
We were last in running defense. We'd have been next to last with Hargrave.
Well, I will say one thing. On both sides of the ball, the Eagles have the toughest offensive and defensive line
Yes, they do.
in the whole NFL. And they're going to show it to the Chiefs on Sunday. And Kelsey's going to get his catches.
10 for
But I'll
140,
make
2
you one
TDs.
bet. That night he's going to be sitting in an ice tub. I can tell you that.
Let's give a shout out to the running back that went to high school near Gateway.
Oh, yes.
Miles Sanders.
Yes.
Penn State,
Penn State.
we are. My nephew, Michael Thompson, goes, Uncle Al rocks.
Yeah.
He's watching us from Arizona. I salute you, Mike. Remember you growing up.
I interviewed Miles Sanders one time. He said, I never played baseball before in my life. I thought he'd be a good baseball player because he's a good athlete. He said he never picked up a bat before in his life.
Wow.
You know who he sounds like? This kid that grew up in Gateway looked like Urkel. He was the same way. He was a track team runner, and he got on football because of his daddy. All right, Nick Callis, what's on your mind? This is all truth.
All right, so I can reiterate my Super Bowl prediction. It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. So this panel
No
is very
wonder
much
you got
split.
Guns on the show.
Unless you count Chip, then technically we outnumber in terms of who, what predictions are
Mike
where.
got
But that
Kansas
doesn't mean.
City. Mike got Kansas City.
Do you? Oh, that's right, you do. All right, we'll call it a split. So who knows who's going to win the Super Bowl? I mean, I feel like it's too good to be true that somebody with an ankle ailment is going to be able to forge through and do well.
What did he do the last game?
Forged through and did well. But how long?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I knew you'd carry
I get it. I mean, how long can this last? So I don't know. I think the Eagles are dominant and well-rounded enough to be able to find an attack that's going to limit Mahomes' ability. I guess. What's the other guy's name? Travis Kelce. I keep forgetting because they got brothers on each team. Travis Kelce plays for the Chiefs. If they can limit him and they can limit Mahomes, the Chiefs might struggle. I think the Eagles got enough of the player personnel to be able to overcome the Chiefs. What's up?
I just wanted to say, I think the Eagle running game is going to keep the ball away from Mahomes a lot.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they one of the best running teams? And then You can't forget their quarterback.
He runs too.
Yeah, I think he's their leading
I
runner.
think they're going to hold the ball a lot. And,
Run the clock, score, win by 8. I'll go with that.
But
win
I'll
by
tell
8.
you what, I'll guarantee you though, that Riddick and them are sitting there with Mahomes' picture, getting ready to tune him up.
We appreciate you. What else, sir?
So I was thinking too. I almost forgot.
Stop thinking then. Just say it.
I almost forgot that Juju Smith-Schuster is on the brink of being a Super Bowl champion. I remember earlier in the regular season on Westwood One that the fan airs that Juju was talking a bit poorly about the Steelers, or just saying that the defensive-minded head coach wasn't helping the Steelers out as much as Andy Reid's offensive mind of the Chiefs, and helping Juju Smith-Schuster become more of a weapon. And I almost forgot. I really want him to do well, and I almost want the Chiefs to win for his sake, because I like Juju Smith-Schuster. My sister met him a few years ago when he was still in Pittsburgh, when he was going around Oakland, or just hanging out some places downtown. Yeah. Right? I know.
Wasn't he even going to the prom and stuff, or?
Maybe, I don't know about that. I just know he met my sister at Shenley Park, I think, when they were walking when she was walking their dog. Shenley Park by Pitt, University of Pittsburgh.
Hold it.
Are you allergic to Pitt because you went to the formerly known Cal U? Yeah. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, he's a nice guy.
What's he laughing about?
Well, because they're not really Cal U anymore, they're West Penn.
No, he's laughing about Shenley.
Shenley. What about
What's
Shenley
he
Park?
know about Shenley?
Yeah. What?
Let's hear what he knows. It's something negative.
Go ahead, Smokin.
I know what he's thinking.
I ain't touching that.
I know what he's thinking about. It's about a quarterback.
Anyway, number 3 thing.
Oh, you're still going.
I'm still going.
Oh,
Why not?
go ahead.
Got plenty of time over here.
Good thing I kept that opening short, Guns.
He's flexing, man. He's flexing.
Guess what? I got hit with that one. Ow.
He's flexing.
You guys know.
Look at Smokin. He's shocked.
What is the matter with you?
The quarterback he's thinking about.
Okay. I'm sorry that happened, but that's not what Shenley Park should be represented by. Anyway.
You know about that.
You guys know. Yeah, I do. You guys. Okay. You guys know I'm a video game aficionado, and MLB The Show is one of my favorite video games.
We've heard about it so much. Get to your point.
Here's the thing. So this year, they're adding on their deluxe version. I was thinking, I'm like, maybe I'm not going to get the game this year. Am I too old for video games? Can I be doing other things? I'm going to be super busy. And then they decided that on the deluxe edition, the big edition they're going to have, they always put a legend player on the cover, and they put Derek Jeter on the cover. And now I'm sad because I'm like, well, geez, now I have to get it, because the rare versions of these games, the legend versions of these games, now is going to have a piece of one of my favorite players on it, and rough for me. So I'm definitely going to splurge and spend the money on getting that game. So happy Derek Jeter's on the cover again, and this might be the end of my legacy play in the show as I continue to get older and get busier and actually get involved in media. But I'm happy they put him on. They haven't had him in the game since he retired. So this is, like 10 seasons later. Happy they're putting him on. And coming up later on VIP time, I'm going to talk about Smokin Jim and why he might be secretly a genius. Stay tuned.
We like that.
That was on my mind.
No disclaimer, but please tell the folks how old you are or how young you are.
24.
Okay, thank you.
24.
I rest my case. Mary Lou, a friend of mine from the Post-Gazette, worked with her 30-some years. She's watching. Ralph and Amy must be on the same page. They're going with Guns and Nick.
Yes.
They're going Eagles.
Wow.
So, and then Tony from Chick-fil-A goes, Tony, we know you're always serious. How much money is Smokin Jim going to lose this Sunday?
It's funny because it's a great question.
And Tony, I'll answer it shortly. And here's how simple it is. Whatever he bets, he will lose.
Better go with the over-under.
We don't know. Okay, what's on my mind is, I watch ESPN and sports mostly, not a lot of the other nonsense on TV, unless it's TV Land and some old shows and stuff like that. And this phrase came up, and it's bothersome to me. The Super Bowl wasn't always a Super Bowl, and it got called the Super Bowl, and it's become famous for the Super Bowl. On ESPN, they're going, stay tuned for the big game, or you have to watch the big game, or we're going to talk about the big game. Well, I know the Super Bowl. What game are you guys talking about? And why do you need to change it? And I'm not one of the people there that you can convince. I've been open-minded, but I'm a natural rule breaker. But certain rules and things, like what's wrong with the Super Bowl and all the years we played it, I don't need to hear the big game. So I'm going to go to one of the guys on the panel who's one of the best with the big game. Fiction and fact from Smokin Jim's Almanac. 10 seconds.
Thanks, Ellenbogen, the talking machine.
Hold it, please swallow. Take a sip of your ginger ale. Listen to that voice now, folks. I helped him out. Look at that.
Sham Pipple.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
You mean his bus head, right?
But hey, Green Bay Packers won 2 Super Bowls in the 60s, and they was considered a dynasty. If Kansas City wins Sunday, that'll be their 2nd Super Bowl. Will they be considered a dynasty? Think about that.
I don't have to. They've already gone to 5 championships in a row.
Dynasty.
So I say they're already a dynasty. The only team that has them beat is the Buffalo Bills, going to 4 Super Bowls in a row and losing.
And that leads me to
I hope I helped you.
You did.
We scripted this
usual.
like nobody's business.
As usual, brother.
This has been
And by
scripted.
the way, I enjoyed your one-on-one interview with my man Ralph Williams.
Oh,
yesterday.
thanks,
Very
though.
good. I learned a lot. There was a lot I didn't learn. There's a lot I didn't know, and I went through the 11 years.
There is a lot you haven't learned either, so.
Yeah, but
Thanks. Shout out to Ralph. Thanks for having me on one of his first one-on-one shows. I posted it up on my page, and believe it or not, he let the talking machine talk about how he founded Pittsburgh Sportsline. So I diverted to a couple stories, 36 years
great.
at the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette, talked about the Post-Gazette strike, cancel your subscriptions, move on.
now I'm going to go with everybody, back by popular demand. Everybody this week wanted me to name my top 10 quarterbacks of all time.
Name one person that asked you.
Everywhere I go, people want to know.
You don't even
How
leave
about
the
here?
house.
'Cause
How
not
about
a
here?
single person here wanted this list.
10C, Jim Kelly. 10B, Norm Van Brocklin.
Did you say 10? That's 12 already.
10A, Terry Bradshaw.
Boo.
Number 9, Big Ben. Number 8, John Elway. Number 7, and no argument here, Tom Brady. Number 6, Peyton Manning. Number 5B, Joe Montana. Number 5A, Fran Tarkington. Number 4, Otto Graham.
Cleveland.
Number 3, Dan Marino. There you go for your pit. Number 2,
He's a pick.
Number 2, Johnny Unitas. Number 1B,
Rams.
Mount
my
Washington
favorite of
boy.
all time, Brett Favre. And the number 1 quarterback of all time, in my opinion, Patty Mahomes. And that's
Hold
my
it.
top
I got a
10
disclaim.
quarterbacks of all time.
One disclaimer, he's known as Patrick, and anybody that doesn't call him Patrick, he considers disrespectful, and so does his mother.
Patty.
Patrick. He doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Smokin Jim.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
move on. We're going to go to time for guns.
Well, I liked a lot of Smokin Jim's picks, but I think he left out one guy that I don't think could be left off any top 10 quarterback team.
You mean top 15? Pretty much that was.
Yeah.
Well, he had
Oh,
MVP, so I don't know.
a breaking announcement. Dave Cable said, what is it? His quote. I'll get it.
Jim makes me
Jim-
sad for math.
Jim makes me sad.
It was the Super Bowl. The Vikings were playing the Chiefs, and the Vikings were giving 11, and Hank Stram and the Chiefs put them to sleep.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that was quite a game, and what few shekels I have were gone after that game. Because I was a Purple People Eater fan.
Oh yeah, I loved them, Alan Page and.
Mhm. Well, I think we got to, after we've established now that the Chiefs are going to lose. Yeah. And I'm going to put up your betting record against it. So now, I think I got to double my bets here. So
You're up in the ante.
oh, I'm going now. I got to go Eagles and over now.
You heard it here first. A Pittsburgh Sportsline first. Somebody is actually competing on the gambling level with Smokin Jim Frazier, and he's going on the over part because of Smokin Jim.
And now, as a shout out to our dear friend Steve, who commentates, when I told him that beware, the Penguins may not make the playoffs. I think it's time we give them a little bit of talking about. That third line just needs to all be given their walking papers.
Right.
And, you know.
And add Kapanen to that line.
Yeah, and I've been saying it all year. And the biggest problem they have right now is they got a goalie that's made of paper. He gets hurt every time you look at it.
Well, you know what? Smokin Jim coined a phrase for certain players, brothers in the NFL, brittle brothers, and he applies it to white guys too. So he would be in the brittle brother category in sports.
I don't know. You know, my problem is that I'm old school. I mean, I seen when Les Binkley was the goalie for the Penguins take a shot in the head with no helmet
protection,
on,
yeah.
Put 14
No
stitches
mask.
in his head and went right back in the game.
Wow.
So
Tell
you know.
Smokin Jim about the blood on the ice.
yeah, I was there. I mean, the goal, he's laying in the goalie, and it looked like a horror movie. The whole goal filled up with blood.
Who was that? Y.A.
Les-
Tittle?
No, it was
No,
Les
somebody
Binkley.
else
It was a
was
Penguin goalie.
Y.A.
back in the
Tittle
day.
was in football,
Y.A.
Smokin.
You know what? He could be in the top 10, Y.A. Tittle, when he played for the Giants. But before I go, I'd like to name some of the great linebackers
Yes!
that ever played.
Yes!
Lay it on us.
For some of the, I personally think that the greatest linebackers as a group played in the late 60s and early 70s.
Yes, sir.
You may be
Because
right.
There's more of them in the Hall of Fame than anywhere. And I mean, you got your guys today that were great. You're even like after Lambert and that.
Yeah.
But go back to like the Rams,
Mm-hmm.
Maxie Bond,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jack Pardee, Ray Nitschke in Green Bay,
Yeah.
Tommy Nobis in
Good
Atlanta,
point. Yeah.
Tim Radosevich on the Eagles,
Mike Curtis, Baltimore Colts.
Mike Mad Dog Curtis, all three of the Dallas Cowboys, Dave Edwards, Leroy Jordan,
Oh,
Chuck Howley, you know, big Lonnie Warwick for the Vikings. I mean, these guys as a group,
and he didn't say top 10. He said good linebackers.
Yeah.
you know,
They all are.
as a group, the entire group of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They were the baddest, toughest linebackers I think that ever were. And the thing about it is, they weren't 300. Like Leroy Jordan's in the Hall of Fame. He weighed 218 pounds and he played like he was 280.
Yeah.
So that's what's
Sort of
on.
like Lambert did.
Lambert was Lambert.
I love me some Lambert.
I do too. He didn't play during that era, but
No, but
like,
I'm saying beyond that, you know,
but
he was
there's
similar.
there's great guys that played after that. But I've always thought that those linebackers, Sam Huff
Oh,
from
yes.
the Giants,
Yes.
and how could anybody forget the greatest middle linebacker of all time? And I don't care what they say,
Big Buckets.
right?
I know, I was going to say
Right?
it.
Big Buckets.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, I hear people talk about Singletary and all that, but
Oh, Butkus was a
Buckets
killer.
was the
I'm gonna tell you, if I have a minute, I'll tell you a great story about him.
You got a minute.
Well, let me tell you about Butkus. Butkus was just completely nuts. He didn't want. One time when he played
Is
for
this
Indiana,
before or after he got the Montour?
yes. One time, some guy was looking at his girlfriend from the stands, and he dove through the windshield with his helmet on.
Oh, yeah, I got
But
to
the
know
greatest
that.
story, there was a kid that played for North Allegheny named Brian Bashnagel.
He was
Yeah.
great.
And he
was a great
played for
player.
the Bears. Now, in the Bear locker room, you had your locker, and then you had painted lines on the bench where
Their
was.
area. Yeah.
So Brasnagel takes his socks off and puts them on the bench. And
Yeah.
Butkus is standing there because Brassnagel's sock went over the line.
Yeah.
Now Butkus is standing there. Now he picks up the sock and bites it in half. He says, "Mine."
Bites it in half.
That's my Dick Butkus story for today.
Thank you very much. You need a bonus situation with one? I know you got other stories.
Oh, I got, you know me.
I know you got it. Well, we appreciate that one, and we're going to go to VIP time right now.
Smokin Jim's a genius. You're going to find out why. Not all the time, but in certain instances I'm going to talk about.
Please tell me one.
Right now. I'm going to tell you right now.
Well, you better lay it out there quick because I'm losing interest.
So, I don't typically get too serious. I know with the Mar Hamlin situation, VIP time is more serious. Usually I'm pretty lighthearted, but now it's going to be one of those times.
Well, baseball, you're serious, and football because you got.
I'm
hate.
serious about
you got
all
hate
sports,
in
yeah.
you now.
I do have a little bit of hate. But here's something that I wanted to kind of talk about that's a little bit more serious. Smokin Jim last week made a comment about the two quarterbacks that are going to be in the Super Bowl and asked me, are they intelligent enough? Do you think that both of them are smart enough to play in the Super Bowl? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Had no clue until Chip started coming in and started eating and saying, yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're fine. You know how he does. Because he didn't want to talk about it. I had no clue what was going on. I was just like,
oh, I knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
They had to go to me, and I didn't want to put it out
No,
there.
and I
did mention a little.
And I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on. I thought he was asking me if one of them was going to be able to win the Super Bowl by being smart, which, of course, they're both really successful quarterbacks. Didn't understand the tone. So here's something that I wanted to talk about. I think that it's an absolute miracle, and it's wonderful for where we live in right now, that Smokin Jim, being who he is and where he's from, is able to make a parody of certain comments that, before were accepted and now are not so much. That's where he's a genius, because Al can disclaim him a lot, and of course what he says is clearly radical, but think about it. Think about how awesome it is that he gets to subtly make fun of all of the negative comments pushed towards certain races from certain periods of time.
I gotta interrupt you seriously.
Because before,
I'm ready to do a disclaimer, but can you mention that Smokin Jim's a black man?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
We've made that discovery numerous times.
I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that was brought out because you're a white man talking about how he's a genius.
No, he's black Irish like me.
Glad we got that clarified.
Yeah.
No, carry on, but I wanted to get that clear so we're all above board, and I won't disclaim anything right now except the genius part.
Yeah, so he making fun of racial stereotypes that existed before, and the fact that he can do that now without any serious retaliation, it's a miracle when you think about it. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, because I'm living in a world right now, and this is good for the progress of where we're going as a society, because I had no clue that he was making comments that were kind of racist. No clue. I didn't have a clue.
Straight up.
So,
straight up.
This is pretty much just the opinion for today. It's like, Chip talks about before, and I like that everybody on here kind of admires the sports of the before time and the athletes of the before time and stuff, and glorifying these people to an extent. And Chip loves talking about his old time Pirates and all the old athletes that he grew up watching. But I just want to say this, just to make this abundantly clear about where we are today. I would rather live, and we talked about this last week too, but I would rather live in a world where the biggest drama in sports is about people's brands and people's arrogance and people talking trash at each other. I'd rather live in that kind of world than in a world where legitimate broadcasters and sports journalists and sports talk show hosts literally thought that because somebody was of a certain race, they couldn't play a sport. I am so happy we're living in now where the biggest problem is that Cincinnati's mayor took some verbal slaps at the quarterback of the Chiefs. So I want you to think about that. There are good parts of sports from history, but I would rather live in this world where Smokin Jim can make fun of his own racism than live in a world where people actually thought because they were a certain color they couldn't play a sport at a certain position. That's the opinion.
Oh, thank you.
I give him a standing ovation. That was great, man. Mark the tape.
Really had no clue last week, but it
Great
got me
job.
thinking. It really got me thinking. This is the drama we have now is not nearly the kind that the 60s and 70s
I'm
and
a
80s
thought
saw.
provoker.
You are, in your own weird way. Yeah.
Just don't ask him what truancy means.
I'm a journalist.
Don't ask him what he reads.
And I'm an All-American.
And shout out to our friend Smokin Jim, Doug Kavanaugh. He's
my
watching
man
us. He
from
just moved.
California.
He's in Pittsburgh now.
Wow.
We got to have a lunch with you, Doug.
Heck
Me and
yeah.
Smokin Jim. I'll buy. We'll go somewhere and we'll eat. I'll treat you to lunch, Doug. Thanks for watching. Nick, thanks for your comments there. I'm glad you got up to speed with how we've had racism in our country since we've been founded. And Smokin Jim's a product of the racism.
But he was so shocked.
He's not a racist though, so that's why he was shocked. And Chief said, "Great job, VIP."
Thank you.
So, longtime worker and friend with mine, Chief Chuck McElroy. We appreciate it. That's the first standing ovation anybody's had on Pittsburgh Sportsline in 810 shows. We're in our 811th show. Thank you for all the great things you've done. We're going to do my segment on location. What was that?
Plane taking off.
Wow, we just had a takeoff in the studio. I don't know if it was a drone or what. We had a loud noise and it was here and gone. On location, we got some boxing shows coming up. We're looking at March 10th, the Donnybrook. The Ireland fighters are coming to fight the Pittsburgh fighters at one of the greatest venues for boxing, the Priory Hotel. Shout out to John Graff and what he does there in Pittsburgh on the North Shore. And then we're going to go to Jose Carabello. Ray Schaefer Boxing Association has the Millvale Community Center in Millvale on the 11th. And then we're looking at potentially the 18th for Golden Gloves Boxing. So we got that coming back. We got some boxing coming in April on the 10th and the 22nd. 22nd, we're supposed to go to the Monsville, West Virginia Penitentiary. Yes. It's haunted there. Our friend Bo with Ghost Hunter has been there, and he said there's ghosts. So we'll be there, and we're not scared of anything. We'll go there and announce and film boxing with our friends Jim Frio and Mike Murray and Cameron out there, who's a beautiful young lady in charge of the Boxing Commission. So we can't wait to go there. We're looking at some potential possible shows in Pittsburgh. We were going to bars and restaurants like Atria's PNC Park, Duke's Rib House and Grill, River City Inn, Olive Oil's Pizzeria in Brookline. We're open to that. If any of you bar owners or restaurateurs would like some of our fans to come out, we interview anywhere from 3 to almost 20 people. I do speed interviews with teams. So you got to check out some of our shows. We've done events and shows all over the city, and we got away from it due to COVID. And I was always a strong worker, so I don't understand society now, how you can't get people to work when we just had the biggest increase, or one of them, 517,000 new jobs last month.
Wow.
So for all the people that want to know, I'm not pumping up President Biden, I'm against all politicians, but when I heard this stat, he's created 12 million jobs in 2 years. That's more than any president has done in 4 years. So that's my political little discussion there. I'm a stat man, so when I see stats, I appreciate that. So good luck to all of you that are working. If you're not working, I can understand with why not too. So not every work environment is great. Some are toxic. And I know what that's like for 36 years, so I survived. And we're going to move on. We're going to open it up. We'll have a little Penguin talk, and I'll open it up. But I got a co-sign with Guns over there with the Penguins. when you keep 17-year players and they're still playing at a good level and they're scoring like they should, that was a great signing. But what about the rest of the club? You know, you have no backup for a goalie. Jari's been great when he's healthy, and that's a question mark when he's healthy. And DeSmith has tried his best. The young guy, I forget his name, but from Wilkes-Barre, he did a little bit better. And they're just so shaky. They'll go on winning streaks and they go on losing streaks. I don't know how. I'm a little sketchy on whether they'll miss the playoffs this year, which would be shocking for my young co-host.
Yes.
He's never seen the Penguins miss making the playoffs.
Well, I can't say that for sure. I just don't remember when it happened.
Well,
I might have witnessed this and just don't
well,
remember.
I go with how Smokin Jim remembers things. So that's your whole life. If you don't remember it, Guns.
Oh goodness.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say the way the Jari's playing, they should go into the stands and get another cardboard cutout and put it in a goal.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, he's harsh, but he's nice.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know,
We respect you.
I could take a hit better than him.
Believe me, look at those guns.
Well,
Those guns, he'll knock that puck backwards. Not into the goal. Forward.
I don't know. Without a good goalie, they ain't going nowhere. They may be better off not making the playoffs because what's going to happen to them in the playoffs?
Well, one and done. We're used to that.
You gotta have
Since 2018, we've seen one and done.
You got to have a goalie, or you're not going nowhere.
Well, I think we agree, but they're up against the cap.
I heard from some insiders over at the Fan that
Can you just tell us the secrets and not where they're from?
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you did.
Okay.
But no, they're gonna. Apparently, there's.
You're welcome. I salute you.
Apparently, there's going to be some huge dismantling going on if they don't make the playoffs. With
Hold it, I'm stunned. Late breaking news. I'm stunned.
no, it's not breaking news. I'm just saying. Like,
Well, on Pittsburgh Sportsline, it is.
I'm going with Gunn's point because it might be better for them not to make playoffs. Not only because they're going to lose in the first round again with the talent that they have, it's likely, but also because maybe some bigger changes here at this point could be a good thing.
Hextall will be gone. Why did they hire him?
Oh, we aired his press conference on Sunday too, and he didn't say anything.
Why did they hire him?
Not a clue. Don't
Well,
know. Couldn't tell you. He doesn't say much. And he
I
doesn't do
thought
much.
they hired him to keep the legacy alive and go to the playoffs to win. What has he done to do that?
Smokin Jim could probably do as good of a job. You just sit
No,
there
he's
and
a
you get the
genius
position.
on football.
No, but that's my point. Anybody could sit there and not do anything
something-
and say they're the general manager and do as much as Hextall's doing.
Okay, maybe he has a chance.
I think something's going to happen because that Boston group that owns that team is not.
Yeah, the Red Sox group.
They're
Yeah,
not accustomed to losing.
No.
exactly.
So when the heads do roll, they're going to roll, I think.
Smokin, you think they're going to trade for Alex Ovechkin?
I would love that. Be one of
Crosby
the
for
happiest
Ovechkin?
days-
What do you
be
think?
One of the
I'm not
happiest
even-
days of my life.
I'm not even sure if Sullivan has run his gambit.
Well,
You know what I mean? Remember, what was the guy's name who was here before him? He was really good, and then he just...
Mike something. It was Mike something.
Yeah, French guy. French Canadian. And then he just like...
Oh, yeah, that's before.
I keep forgetting his
I
name.
used to see him in
and
the Tacoma all the time. I thought maybe that's what did him in. I don't know.
Hey, can we give a shout out to one of the most phoniest athletes in the history of the game? He's
In your opinion?
He's
Yeah, go ahead.
38 points away from breaking Kareem
Oh,
Abdul-Jabbar's
LeBron.
record. LeBron James.
Why are you a hater?
Well, the guy got schools and never went to school. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well, I know a guy sitting
pushing
here.
education on everybody that he didn't know.
Wait a second. I got a guy on the show who's calling a guy out for not going to school, and he funds school so others can get educated. You went to school and forgot to go to class and sold the books. It's documented.
And I teach people to do homeschool. I'm not a hypocrite. I teach them how to get out of school. Long as you got a fourth or fifth grade reading level, that's it. That's all you need.
You're not even at that point.
How much more
Guns
you
will
need?
verify. I bring the dictionary out, 1909. Guess what?
But
We can't
but
even
I know
check
we
words
don't-
from
I know we don't
1909.
like the NBA, but I knew LeBron James was going to be great when I left Heinz Field one day in all the Steelers beat me to the Civic Arena to watch this 11th grader play basketball. That's
And how'd
when
he
I knew
do?
It was going to be great.
How did he do?
I guess he was all right. I mean,
They raved about him.
I couldn't tell him apart from all the other 5 guys was on the court with him.
You mean they looked the same?
They all had headbands on, yeah.
Well, they thought they were John, they thought it was John Brisker.
They traveled all over the country, but Mike will probably agree with me. I'm thinking your best basketball come from Philly, New York, and California. I'm like, how can a kid from Cleveland be considered
Akron.
the best? Yeah,
Akron.
Be considered
Cleveland's
the best
up by the
basketball-
lake.
that's
Breathing all that
football
rubber
town.
from that Firestone
Yeah, that's
plant.
football
The burning
wrestling.
rivers.
Akron is football town.
Yeah, you know, Ohio.
Yeah, the Browns
but
have been doing
LeBron
it all,
ended up being
Isn't
the-
Ohio
one of the
State?
best.
Is Ohio State in Ohio?
Yeah,
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Ohio's known for.
Ask 'em where
Ohio
Kansas
and
City
Western
is.
Pennsylvania
Yeah.
is known for.
Hey,
their
where's
football.
Kansas City at?
Is in Missouri.
Yeah. Well
I
done.
had to think there for.
I'm
in
telling you
St.
what,
Louis,
it was
in St.
60-40. He
Louis,
was getting. It was 60-40. He was saying Kansas.
I know.
Almost.
Did you
almost,
see he paused?
Almost tripped me up.
He paused, folks. He paused a little.
But where would you guys rate LeBron? I got him. I don't have him in the top 5 all time, but what would you rate him?
See, the problem
Top 5,
that I
top
had,
10?
yeah, I'd rate him in the top 5, but the problem is comparing, the game is so different than it was. Now, he'd have played with Chamberlain and Russell banging him around.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think, I think it would have been a different game.
What would
Or
Wilt have done to LeBron?
he would
Oh, my
have, well,
goodness.
knowing Wilt the way Wilt was, he would have freaking slammed him up against the wall.
Oh, he would have knocked him out.
There's no question.
In my
And then when
opinion,
he'd
that's the
cry
greatest.
about a foul,
Wilt Chamberlain was the greatest, in my opinion.
Well, he was, but them guys were so much more physical. They look more physical today, but they tore them up in them days, and they didn't call it. I mean, they bust you
when
up.
you
pretty
talk
good.
physical, think of Bill Russell.
Yes.
Well,
What
my
he
second
did.
favorite player of all time was Bob Cousy.
I got a question.
Sure.
What 8 players are in your top 5?
I'm gonna bring that
No,
up
no,
next
no,
week.
no, no,
I got
no,
to
no.
tease that for next week.
No,
But
he has to
LeBron-
do all the research with A, B, C, and D.
But I would have loved to seen him like Artis Gilmore and him go
Ooh.
into the paint.
Great point.
You know,
How
because
about Wes Unseld, huh?
yes, you know, even Gus Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, them guys were.
How
it
about
was
head against Dr. J?
Ooh,
playing
Doctor
wise.
to get up.
Yeah.
But Doctor
Seriously.
wasn't as
But
good
even
as
with-
Larry
even-
Bird now.
No, I take Larry Bird against LeBron.
But even Willis Reed played hard in the
Ooh,
paint. I mean,
that's a name.
you know.
Yeah, I saw some great games. Look, he was on his deathbed and came out.
But see, in some of these teams,
So was Magic Johnson.
yeah, but some
Well,
of
he
these
almost
teams,
died from HIV.
Oh.
some of these teams though had forwards that were like linebackers, man. You know,
No, you're right. That's
Elgin Baylor was a.
another name. Yeah.
You know.
No, we saw some great basketball.
Underrated guy, Elgin Baylor. He could do it all.
Chief said I agree with Smokin Jim about Wilt,
Yes. Yes.
and he's only one to score 100 points with 30 people watching him, and 300,000 saw him play in a small gym.
But you know, when
Just saying.
the biggest difference when we were kids, they would get called for steps and walking every play. You
Guns,
can't.
I got to give a dad story. My dad was a great basketball referee, Jewish
he was.
Sports Hall of Fame. My uncle Shmuley, was known by Myron Cope as the Bob Cousy of Pittsburgh. So that's the family I grew up in. My dad would call me up, and I didn't watch NBA all the time, but I'd be watching a game. He'd call up, Alan, did you see that guy walk? Did you see that guy push inside? Did you see those fouls? I go, Dad, they didn't call anything. He goes, that's what's wrong with the NBA. This is the 80s and 90s when my dad's calling me up after he, quit refereeing.
Well, here's another thing too. A lot of these guys like Steph Curry, they don't have to go in the paint. They throw the ball from way outside. So the
He changed the
physicality
game.
of the game is just not as it was.
Right.
And these guys are all ripped and big and this and that, but man, them guys they kill each other.
No, I agree with Smokin Jim. I take Wilt Chamberlain over anybody.
Can you imagine the kind of money I could have made as being an NBA referee would be being on the take? I could be bought. Hell, Levine, the talking machine.
Well, you know what the definition of an honest referee is, don't you? It's a guy when he's bought, he stays bought. He'll take your money and give it to you anyway.
Hey, Guns. Our friend Tim Davis from the Millville and Ray Schaefer
Coach,
Boxing Club,
Coach.
he said, bingo guns, no steps, no traveling.
Yeah, different world.
Right.
Well, he's around our age, so he understands that exactly.
Yeah.
And Smokin Jim, my dad went to high school games, and they'd go, hey, Saul, we don't want you to referee anymore. You're not calling it the way we want. And they go, you'll probably never referee again. My dad, his quotes, I was there when they'd say him as he's leaving. And he goes, I'll have a game, coach, and I'll be here after you're gone.
Wow.
And
I
that's
like
the
that.
attitude he had. He wasn't a homer, and he didn't respect the homers like you would have been.
Well, that's what that sports announcer told Ken Griffey Jr. when he came to Cincinnati with that attitude. I was here before you got here, and I'll be here after you. And he was. Too.
These old timers,
What
I'll
an
take the
arrogant-
old
what an
timers like
arrogant
our
guy
dads
when he
and
got to
stuff.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He should have stayed in Seattle.
Yeah, he should have.
It's basketball in this town is. I mean, years ago, like in our dad's time, there were great club teams. Like one of the ones that came out of Oakland, they were the St. Lorenzo basketball. My father played for them because my dad played for Shenley back then.
Wow.
Yeah, my uncle played for Fifth, and my dad, they were at Fifth
Yeah, but
Avenue. My
basket-
cousins played for Shenley, and they were in Oakland.
I
But-
thought Fifth Avenue was all black.
No, Cyril Weck went to Fifth Avenue.
What?
My dad's-
On the basketball, Cyril Weck played basketball.
No, he didn't.
Here,
I don't know if he
I
played
got a
basketball. He
Cyril
went to
Weck
Fifth Avenue.
story for you, Smokin Jim.
We honor him every year.
Well, my dad, God rest him, he always said he was 5'10". He was 5'7", 5'6", and he was coaching basketball teams. He was a shorter guy then, but he played basketball like the best of them. Wasn't the best, but he organized teams. And he told me one of his teams had Cyril Wecht on playing basketball when they were teenagers.
there you go.
Wow.
And that was out of the Hill District.
Is that right?
And he goes, he coached a team out of Homestead. He goes, hey Al, Homestead's
Graves?
official. He got in the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, and same with my dad. It's one of the few brother combinations as a basketball player. My uncle played, Sidney Levine was his name. He played for the first pro basketball team before the NBA, the Pittsburgh Raiders. I said Raiders.
Bob Cousy.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what he was known for. Myron Cope would go, he played just like Bob Cousy. He would throw passes to my friends that played in the Green Tree Gym, break their noses and fingers. They weren't paying attention.
That's when you lived in the country.
Yeah. Yeah, with Green Tree.
In honor of Myron,
Nepotism. Green tree, baby.
in honor of Myron Cope, next week we should have the top 10 drinkers in Pittsburgh. We had some legendary drinkers.
You know, and I heard this because he got drunk one day in the
Here's
God
a
rest
story.
his soul, and he went after Joe Green.
Yeah.
Now Joe's and I know Joe. Joe's the nicest guy.
He's a gentle giant.
now he's standing there all,
5'2" of them with against 6'8".
and Joe's like looking at him like, "Are you freaking even serious here?" But he would fight anybody. He was this big.
Well, I know when he worked at the Post-Gazette, trying not to be disrespectful, but he was known for drinking his hot toddies.
That Igloo Club.
And I will say, yoy,
Igloo
yoy,
Club.
double yoy on the hot toddies.
If the Igloo Club could talk.
There, before the show, I want Guns to share a story about one of Smokin Jim's heroes, Bobby Lane.
Oh, I love him.
Oh, Bobby Lane.
Put him in
Can
my
you
top
tell
10.
about his
Well, Bobby
drinking
Lane.
exploits?
Bobby
Which
Lane
one?
never played sober. He was for those of you who don't know, he was a Steeler quarterback back in the day.
Great.
But he never played sober. So he'd come out of the club 5, 6 in the morning and then go to the field. But when Bobby would walk into the bar, he would buy everybody in the bar a drink unless you were drinking a soda or
Like your ginger ale, he wouldn't have
No,
bought
he
you.
won't pay. He would never pay for Cokes and ginger ale,
Really?
only alcohol. So
Well,
Art Donovan.
Jim, he was an alcoholic.
Oh, Art Donovan was a tackle for the Baltimore Colts, and Donovan said, I was lined up against the center, and even when he was in the quarterback, I almost passed out from just his breath.
Well, let me go a little deeper. I was a young kid at the Post-Gazette, 18 and a half, Chief will know, 18, 19 years old. And there was a guy, may he rest in peace, one of the biggest bookmakers in our area, Harry Cooper. And he knew Bobby Lane. He knew Hannes Wagner. He knew the, Big Poison and Little Poison. He drank with them. And they would tell stories. Some other guys, Bobby Lane would drink up in Brentwood at a bar. And friends of mine lived in Brentwood. And they'd say, you know who closed the After Hours Club at 7 o'clock on Sunday? And they go, Bobby Lane. They go, we helped him to his car. He couldn't walk to his car.
But he played.
And I'm a wide-eyed kid, innocent kid, naive from Greentree. And I go, you're kidding me. And I go, I heard he drank. They go, he was drunk.
I didn't even know he drank till I seen him sober.
Glad we could give you another opinion from sports. And, we like telling stories. We like to have some fun. And once in a while, Nick embellishes a genius on the show. We got Smokin Genius Jim.
Yes, thank you, Nick.
And Guns, thanks for filling in for Chip today. Enjoyed the show.
Eagles.
Nick, thanks for your insights. All you guys that like Eagles, I got to lean your way, but I'm going with Mahomes, and I'll go down with Smokin Jim losing. No, I won't bet on the game.
Mahomes going to look like the captain on the movie Treasure Island. All he needs is a parrot.
Whoa! Well, you're going deep in.
I'm going deep because I see Riddick just tearing him up like a wild bull.
You heard it here last, and Amy, I had that dictionary for 10 years. Please stay Joey strong.